Now, multi-award winning comedian Russell Kane is out on the road, heading up and down the country, across the globe. But when he's out and about, the important thing is getting a decent night's sleep. He's here to tell me about how to have a bit of a break and enjoy your life when you're a top quality, internationally renowned comedian. How you doing, sir?
Well, I should be tireder than I am, but it's been such an exciting week. It's a week that would leave most 18-year-olds in a daybed. I've been to Ibiza on Monday. I went to bed at 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. I've flown home. I've done a couple of jobs since then, and now to crown it all off, chatting to you.
Well, for me, it's amazing. For you, I'm sure it's the low light of a week. However, you do like to put the pressure on. Looking at your hyperactive tour, you are here, there, and everywhere. You know, Toronto 1 minute, then back in the UK the next. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've never played Canada before, and when you're going to a new country, it's a bit of a gamble. Canada sort of sits in the middle. They get some British TV, they follow British comedy a bit, so you roll the dice. But I'm doing Calgary and Halifax and places like that. I could easily end up with 20 confused Canadians thinking Russell Howard looks different in the front row. It does get confusing when there's three Russells, and you don't want to be muddled up with the other two all the time.
It does get tricky, I suppose. It's when you have
Yeah.
to sign the wrong autograph, isn't it? That always gets awkward.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm doing the amount of Nick Grimshaw autographs I've done, you wouldn't believe.
But when you are out on the road, though, I mean, what is your mantra for getting this right? Because you have to be on form the whole time. I know you are, but how do you do it?
There are four aspects to keeping your energy, staying younger for longer, keeping your happiness and your wellness intact, and they're all free. These ones, right? So you need what you eat, yeah, diet, whatever, exercise and movement. The quality of your relationships, are you staying in toxic friendships or relationships that you could easily be out of, and sleeping. You should be trying to focus on those four things. They're old school and they've been forgotten under an ocean of fad diets and bad information. But if you can get what I call the four pillars of wellness, and if you can afford it, the fifth pillar, evidence-based supplementation to turbocharge what you're doing, you will slow down your age and you'll fuel the mitochondria of your cell. There is no reason just because of the accident of your birth certificate to start living half a life. It's such a gift to even be here for whatever you're going to get, 65 to 95 years. You've got to draw suck the marrow from the chicken bones of life, crack them open. Don't throw anything in the bin that you could have eaten.
Are you going to be this bad when you are in your 90s? I can imagine you're going to be the scourge of
Well,
the old
my,
people's home.
my granddad has only just popped his clogs. My granddad, he popped his clogs last month. And my Nana Pat's still going strong in Luton. She's just held together by bits of war rubble, racism, and copies of the Daily Mail. I think that's all that keeps her going. So I'd like to think so. We'll see. But touring, obviously, well, interferes with some of those things. You're eating on the move, you're sleeping on the move. It's important to try and get good quality sleep, because whatever goes in the day before, that decides the quality of the show that comes out. And I take it really, if people are putting their hands in their pocket and spending anywhere between 30 and 50 quid to see me, they've chosen me over anyone else they could have seen, Sarah Millican or whoever, Greg Davis, Michael McIntyre, they've chosen me. I take that really seriously. And I know I train like a boxer. I really do. I really take it seriously. I look after myself like an athlete, and I just deliver high energy. My fitness band says I'm burning 800 calories per gig. So that's how I've ended up getting obsessed about sleep. That's why I've ended up speaking to you. There's a survey online, actually. Premier Inn have done it. If you go to premierin.com, you can look at it, and it talks about the different sleep habits we have when we're traveling, which is obviously my life. And unsurprisingly, most people can't sleep on the move. 40% of us can't sleep on transport. I mean, I would have thought it'd be a lot higher than that on a bus. I'm a bit suspicious of people that can sleep on a bus. They must be heavily medicated with iron brew and vodka.
I say I've slept through a concert once,
Yeah,
but
sorry about that. This show's better.
I wouldn't have been one of yours. But then we're talking loud rock music, and so if I'm tired, I'm lucky enough I can sleep. But so when you are traveling, you do want the right kind of sleep, the right circumstances.
Yeah.
You don't want to be moody the next day or aggressive, or all of those things that come along with poor sleep patterns.
Exactly. And I think the survey, although it says 40%, I'll be willing to guess if we did an even bigger survey, it'll be half and half. Because as far as I can tell, that half of the population falls asleep easily, and the other half I have to have a bed. So I like, I love a silent night mattress. I like to know the room I'm going into. I like to know where I'm sleeping. Even if I get upgraded posh on a flight, I still don't sleep. I still sit there like a meerkat that's been intravenously fed Red Bull, and I just don't sleep. As soon as I'm in a hotel, and the plainer, the better. I used to when I first started, oh, it's up a path and you get the brass key off the shelf and you text the owner and she'll let you into the rectory at midnight. It's like, nah, I want a reception, a 24-hour manned reception. I would like to go, like there be a membrane where I'm fired out of my car and just land in the bed and the duvet comes up and then I regenerate like an X-Man with more jokes. So that's it. I am, as I said, it's very athlete-like, my lifestyle when I'm on the road. I do operate like an athlete. I'm down now to one. I literally have one beer after my gig, and I used to really like a glass of wine. You know, where you fill it up to like that, and the meniscus is almost beating physics. And you say, well, it's only a glass of wine. There's about like 500 mils of wine in there. I'm down to one bottle, like a Peroni size bottle. That's it for my alcohol intake when I'm on the road now.
You'll be
So
on
what's about
0% before you know it, won't you?
Well, I do. That's what I drink afterwards. If I fancy the taste of another beer, I'll have a zero. Just because you're not going to get anywhere by medicating yourself with alcohol to sleep. And then that's what the last generations of comedian did. It's funny, if you try and get life insurance as a comedian, I'm in the same life insurance group as a soldier and a scaffolder. That's how poor my health outcome. And a firefighter. Firefighter, soldier, scaffolder, comedian are all in the same life insurance bracket because the health outcomes of a comic are so appalling. They are appalling.
And it's not even worth talking about your car insurance either, is it?
And I'm not insured on my tour car. I've taken myself off it, so just my tour manager is on it.
That's the way to do it.
I'm not even allowed to have it parked overnight at my house. That was the conditions of the insurance.
It's a mad world. So obviously, Premier in doing this one, and I know another amazing comedian, Lenny Henry's been having some fun visiting their establishments again, as we've seen on the telly adverts. Have you ever bumped into Lenny when you've been staying at a Premier Inn?
I've worked with him a few times because I've done quite a lot of comic relief work. So we haven't been under the purple duvet together, but let's just say it's the collab everyone wants to happen.
We should look out for that in the autumn winter campaign. You never know, it could happen. But obviously, out on the road and loving it. I think Coventry is your closest gig to us.
The Civic what a gig that was. I just played it recently. Do you know what? I don't know what's going on with this tour. I've sold well everywhere, but the Midlands has been insane.
Well, you've had to put an extra night on in Coventry, haven't you? You've got two.
I've got 2 nights on at Warwick Arts Centre, controversially the Warwick Arts Centre in Coventry.
Yeah.
I've done Wolverhampton. I've done Dudley Town Hall. I've done, obviously, Birmingham. I did the Hippodrome. I've done loads of, just so many. I did Stourbridge, 2 nights in Stourbridge. I don't know what's going on. I suppose living in the Midlands, you need to laugh more. That's the only thing I can work it out.
We appreciate you, Russell. This is what it is.
It's just been, and they're just brilliant audiences. They've got such a good sense of humour, and obviously it's easy for me to make local jokes. And my Midlands knowledge is so good. I mean, I get the Hippodrome. I did 5 minutes on each. A bit on Solihull, a bit on this, a bit on that. I'm able to do the different districts and everything.
Well, you're going to be having an amazing time. Have a brilliant time internationally, and have a great time getting some good kip when you're back in the UK in your Premier Inn.
Well, I will do. Like I said, I like what I like about the reason when I really use Premier Inns and hotels like that is I like to get to where I'm needed the next day, the night before. That's my sleep hack. Don't set your alarm for 3 a.m. and do a hellish drive and arrive like a zombie. You won't enjoy the first day of your holiday anyway. Sleep close to the airport, wake up and hit the all-inclusive like a warrior. I leave my all-inclusive in profit. I'm normally ejected because I've eaten too much lobster at the buffet. Sometimes I'll eat food that I'm allergic to with an EpiPen just to extract the value from it.
We do not recommend that. Always eat lobster responsibly.
That was a joke. I'm known for them, kids.
Yes, you did.
Chicken didn't actually cross the road. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Where do we get details on the Hyperactive Tour so we can get to the Warwick Arts Centre and grab tickets? Or join you in Toronto.
Yes. russellkane.co.uk. International dates, there's plenty of tickets. They've just gone on sale. UK dates, hardly any left, but I've just added Great Yarmouth and I've added a second night in Warwick, so you should be able to get some capacity there. But do have a look because I'm not like, having a go at my fellow comics, but I cover all of the stage. So there is not a bad seat when you come to see me. Everyone has a great view eventually because I will cover every square inch. So don't be put off by any little straggly seats left in the upper circle. I will hit you with my energy, I promise.
You would have to get back to Wolverhampton again.
I had a Civic. What a gig. That was just, it was such a good. So it was a Grand Theatre I did this time. Civic and Grand, they're the same sort of
Yeah.
business. It's just a beautiful theatre. They're just so up for it and they could just take the banter.
Right, then behave with the accents. Russell Kane, have a brilliant time. Thank you for joining us.
So yeah.